What if every region had an expert trainer for each type? I've always wondered why Game Freak has never exploited this element of his games to expand the lineup of his gym leaders and Elite Four, which only the recent Gen 9 games going toward that direction, especially since Sword and Shield confirmed the existence of gyms assigned to each type. I believe each region should have a representative for each type, something that has really happened in the franchise. If it was up to me, I would have expanded the rosters of specialized trainers from 10 gym leaders to 5 Elite Fours, making them Elite 5, as they have a minimal part done with the DLCs in Pokemon Sword and Shield, or with Steven Stone in Pokemon Emerald, or by bringing back the Kanto gym leaders in the Johto titles post-game. This will greatly benefit the game's longevity. Today, our mission is to give each region a trainer specialized in each type and a dedicated team. For gym leaders, I will also add a brand new city, if necessary. Now, to the most important question, where to find these trainers? Luckily, we have both the games, the mangas and the anime that will come to our help, all of which have trainers who might be right for the task, many of whom we know very well. So, without further ado, let's start. Let's start with the easiest, the bug type. Bug catching was the catalyst that started the entire franchise, as Satoshi Tajiri, the original creator, was a passionate bug collector, a popular hobby in Japan, and the idea of creating Pokemon came to him after imagining the possibility of exchanging insects between two Game Boys via the linked cable, and that's why bug catchers are some of the first trainers we meet at the beginning of our adventure. This is also the reason why I don't understand why a bug type expert was missing in the first gen games, since it's literally the type that started all this madness. But I digress. In the anime, while passing through the Viridian Forest, Ash and Pikachu met Samurai, a bug catcher wearing a Japanese armor. Samurai will be our bug type expert in Kanto. When we will first meet him, he will be only the forest end boss, the last bug catcher to face before leaving the forest. Only after the post-games does Samurai get the opportunity to open his own bug-type gym in Viridian City to temporarily replace Giovanni, or he could create his own unrecognized gym in the Viridian Forest, similar to the Saffron City Dojo. As for his team, at the players' first meeting, I see him using his original anime team, a Metapod and a Pinsir, who will serve as his ace. His gym leader team will consist of that same Pinsir, is now evolved Butterfree, a Beedrill, a Shyper, and a Parasect. The next type is the normal type, and the expert I'll give it to is the Pokefanatic, and creator of the Pokemon storage system, Bill. If you remember well, the first time we meet him, he had turned himself into a Clefairy. Plus, when we meet him again in Johto, he's kind enough to give us an Eevee. Unlike Samurai case, I could see him as a good addition to the Kanto gym team during our journey to become champions. For Bill's gym, I created a city based on the Akihabara district, famous for its electronics and otaku culture, located between Cerulean City and Saffron City. His team will consist of a Clefairy, an Eevee, and a Porygon, each representing a scientific branch, astronomy, biology, and computer science. Alternatively, we could pair him with a team made up of the early evolutions, in original, Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon. Moving up to the sky, we have now the flying type. For this type, we are going to choose the guardian and owner of the Pokemon Safari, Baoba. Not only are birds a fundamental part of a safari experience, but the tree from which Baoba takes his name is a crucial home for many African birds that nest on top of it. For his case, we are not going to give him a gym. I would rather leave him as the safari keeper and make him a sort of a secret boss of the safari after achieving a certain goal. For example, capturing every species of Pokemon present on the safari. His team will consist mostly of exotic birds, such as Dodrio, Farfetch, Pidgeotto, and Firo. With Baoba, we are now completed the 3 types missing from the first generation. Now, moving on to the 3rd and 7th generation. Moving on to the Fire Red and Leaf Green remakes, we have the Steel type and the Dark type, introduced in the previous generation, starting with the developer Celio, who is going to be our steel type gym leader on one island. I think that with the introduction of the Sevi Islands, some extra gyms on the islands would have not been a bad idea and would have been a nice way to introduce the type missing from the original games. Plus, in the game, we have the precedent of the Alolan Elite Four Molayne, also a Pokemon storage system developer and steel type expert. His team will consist of a Magnemite, a Porygon 2, a Steelix and a Shizor. For the dark type, we have the wealthy young lady Selphie, whose name and behavior evoke selfishness, which is in line with the dark type's theme as a representative of the dark side of humanity and its vices. Her gym will be located on 5 islands, and her team will consist of a Umbreon, a Murkrow, a Sneasel, a Persian, and a Houndour. Another character I could see being a normal type gym leader is the Instructor Primo, the guy from the Teachy TV that we get from the old man in Viridian City. I will place his gym city between the Indigo League and Route 22. The city will be based on the town of Hakone, famous for its hot springs and for its proximity to Mount Fuji. There is also a cable car that will bring you up to the Pokemon League. His team will consist of a Raticate, a Tauros, a Snorlax, and a Kangaskhan. And finally, in the Let's Go games, we have the implementation of the Fairy type. Oddly enough, Nina, the Fairy type trial captain from Alola, appears in the games, but I wouldn't choose her since she's already a type expert in another region. Instead, I see the Fairy type pairing well with Green, who in this game has a similar personality to a manga counterpart, known for using a Jigglypuff as a means of aerial transportation. It will be fitting for her to act as a 5th member of the Cantonese Pokemon League, with her team, which will be composed of a Wigglytuff, a Clefable, 2 Mr. Mimes, and an Alola Ninetales. Concluding with her, I will say that we are done in Kanto.